Beyond the grave, before a long queue of souls, I saw a huge table of many kilometers. On this table there were countless books, huge books, of all kind, all colors, red, blue, yellow, black. They were innumerable books. They were books of condemnation. Before the table was a throne, upon which was seated a demon. He was wearing a blue dress that seemed to be part of his body, but his garment seems to have many burns. This fallen angel was huge and giant. The Lord revealed that he was 18 meters tall. This prince of hell had legion of demon at his service in this place. They looked like bat with wing, and these demon flew all over the place telling the people of the world that had fallen in this place, "Rejoice, rejoice, for this is your dwelling place. Rejoice, for this is your eternal abode. Rejoice, for this is your kingdom. You will never leave, you who have followed the way of sin, you who have listened to our voice and did our bidding on earth. This is your eternal kingdom." People were ashamed and confused. On the chest of this demon it was written Mikl. Often, I see kids wearing clothes with the inscription Pokemon Mikl. This was the demon. The Lord lamented the parent who buy clothes that have names, symbol and caricature of demon, for these clothes introduce children in covenant with unseen demon of destruction. I saw that this fallen angel was chained and immobilized on his throne, seating there until the day of the white throne judgment. His face was intense, and there was an infernal fury and rage on his face. I was stunned and overwhelmed contemplating this demon seated on his throne before the horrendous gate of hell, with a huge screen on his side, where the life of every soul was projected. With rage and fury the fallen angel was calling the name of these souls that had their name in the book of death. Nearby his throne was a giant screen which broadcast life review and the convictions of the acts that men have committed on earth. The Lord said to me, "This is where the first judgment, which is reproach of conscience, happen." I said, "Lord, who is this demon seated there on the throne?" The Lord said, "This entity called Mikl was one of my child in heaven. He is a former resident of the celestial world, where his function was to sew the clothes of angels and celestial beings in heaven. But when Lucifer was corrupted and conspired to bring insurrection in heaven, Mikl joined Lucifer rebellion along with many celestial beings, and there was war in heaven. And since this former angel joined Lucifer conspiracy, he was cast out of heaven with him. That is why you seen him with chains, and the punishment I gave him is to sit before the gate of hell, and write the name of people who died in their sin, so that every soul that fall in hell, first watch the life of sin they led before they are cast in the world of fire. The punishment of this fallen angel is to verify the name of the people who has died in sin before their entrance to the abode of the dead. He is mandated to expose everyone before their responsibility, and finally to establish the conviction. He connects the sentence promulgated by heaven to the action and acts of these people so that every soul is held guilty. When the dead arrive from all over the world, he projects their life on the screen and then the condemnation decree by heaven, and then he verify the name in the book of condemnation and finally allocate the specific prison to the damned souls. And there were 361 chambers of hell. These chambers were the size of continent of the earth. This rebel angel that used to design angelic garment in the heaven was condemned by God, to recite the name of the damned souls in the book of death and condemnation, because he had joined Lucifer insurrection in heaven. When souls arrive here, Mikl first check their names and the things they did on earth, in order to finally send them to the death chamber, for the evil acts they committed. I remember when we arrive in his dimension, it was a mysterious land, where the ground was red. I asked the Lord, "Why is the sand so red?" The Lord told me, "The ground is red in this dimension because there is fire underground burning. In fact, there are souls of multitude burning in the fire beneath the ground. That is why the sand here has become red." When we arrive in this mysterious realm, I saw that before us were many queue of people. Countless people of all nations and all races were in this place in lines. Between these lines of people were passages like corridors. I saw wicked spirit. They had 4 hands and faces of dogs. They were moving around, supervising the queue of multitude of people that came from all nations. These demon had 4 hands and they were holding chains that were fiery and burning. Whenever a soul went out of the queue, the demon whipped him with a chain of fire, and instead blood. I saw worms falling from the body of the victim. Whenever the victim tried to remove the worms, I saw these worms multiplied. It was better not to remove it. Worms were crawling all over the body of these souls. The worms that eat them do not die, and the fire is not quenched. I understood that this is the body of humiliation, that was supposed to burn. It was made known to me by the Lord that these queues of doomed souls were 10 kilometers long. These were queue of people from all over the world, from all races who had died on earth with sin. They came from all nations and all races. I looked at the people. I noticed that their foots were burned by the red sand upon which they were standing. These people were emitting groan and hitting the ground with their foot continually because of the pain. I saw that they were holding a CD on their hand. Some of them wanted to get rid of them, but they were unable. I said, Lord, what is this CD? He told me, it is called Testament of Existence. The Lord said, when you are born, it is when you reach the age of accountability that the Testament of Existence will begin to record your actions and deeds with details of days, hours and minute. Even the action you've forgotten are recorded. Romans 2:16. The Lord said the Testament of Existence is what you call conscious. All the evil act you commit on earth, even if you deny them in public, your conscience that has recorded them will remind you. When people died, they passed through the first degree of judgment called the judgment of conscience. They go through verification of consciousness before being judged according to the word in the white throne judgment. People were sanctioned at this gate of hell on the basis of what their conscience were reproaching them. There was a child in the queue, and I was complaining and saying, Lord, he is a child. The Lord said, the moment he began to distinguish good and evil, the judgment of conscience began.